Vaibhav joined today. So we'll have a quick walkthrough about the course. Maybe I will just go make it a little quick, and then we quickly go to the application, and so that the people who have attended this session past in the past as well, so they will learn something more. Just let me know if my screen is visible. Anyone can confirm.
Yes, it will.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
sir.
Thanks. Okay, I am putting it on presentation mode. Okay, so hi everyone. So just a quick introduction about myself. I am Ambarish. I have closely 16 years of experience in IT, and a little more about my profile. So I have been in IT industry around 16 years, and I am working as a senior Salesforce consultant, and I have involved in various development and implementation work in Salesforce. I have skills in application design, architecture, development, and support activities, and I have trained more than 300 associates in Salesforce. I am a 6X certified in Salesforce. So this is something about my profile. Now I am coming towards the course of the curriculum that we are going to have for this batch. So there are two aspects of this batch. Like for those who are totally new, they want to learn Salesforce and pursue career in Salesforce. This course is definitely going to help you, as well as there are some candidates who know something about Salesforce, but they want to earn some credentials just to make their profile, um, just to have those credential in your profile. So this certificate, this training program will help you in that aspect as well. So if you have planned to go for any Salesforce beginner level certifications. Um, okay, I think someone is joined, so let me see if I can add him. Yeah. Let me admit Anjali. Yeah. Okay, so now let me switch back to the screen. Again, putting it on presentation mode. So, if you have some basic understanding of CRM technologies, that is well and good, or if you have some basics of RDBMS, that is also welcomed. But however, if you don't have any IT background at all, then also it should not be a problem, because we are starting our no, journey from very basics. Okay, assuming that most of the people are from not IT background, so our course will start from that point. The course duration will be around 70 hours, for which most of the part we will be dealing with the lab sessions or hands-on experience. Roughly, it will be 70 hours. So this is a quick our course content. I am just doing it to little fast for the timing because it may be repetitive for few more associates. So the introduction will start with the core concepts of any cloud technology, that is SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. We'll try to understand what is the use, what is SaaS, what is PaaS, because these are the building blocks in Salesforce. We'll also understand the benefits of Salesforce. What is the difference between on-premise architecture and cloud model? Yeah, so on-premise architecture is your legacy system, legacy software, which doesn't on cloud. So how they differ, that things we are going to learn. Also, we'll give some understanding about some modules in Salesforce like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Community Cloud, Experience Cloud. The next lesson will also understand the standard object flow. So these are like core Salesforce things. Currently, I'm not explaining because you'll get confused. So these all things will be start from the practical, and then in the use cases wise we'll go through that, and then we'll also get access to Salesforce Developer Org, where you can sign up and you can get your org created for you. This will be used for your hands-on perspective. Okay. The next session will be like our database structure. We will understand that database structure. I'm just skipping the details for the timing. Lesson 4 will be your securities. Securities is a very important feature. Um, okay, someone is replying. Okay, just a second. Huh? Everyone is joined. Okay, no issue. So security is a very important feature in Salesforce because each cloud applications they just want to have their application secure so that unauthorized access can be eliminated. To have that things enforced, we have securities at multiple level: organization, object, record level, field level, profile, permissions, and so on. So these are a core Salesforce concepts. So that those things will learn. Next day will be like the configuration part. What is setup in Salesforce, what is company information, security controls, user management. Okay, so manage user is something like related to our user administration. Okay, so if you see that in mostly in L1 no, support projects, user management related works are there. So those things we'll understand. Another thing we are going to learn about standard objects, custom objects. So I will be explaining them. What are them? And in the last part, in lesson 5, we will be our Salesforce standard UI. Okay. So in Salesforce, we have two types of user interfaces. One is a standard interface that Salesforce has given us, and we can use it by doing some configuration work without any coding. And also there are some custom pages, which we'll learn in the later sessions. Okay. Lesson 6 will be our relationships, the logical part, the relationship between objects, formula, cross object, formula fields, field dependency. These things we are going to learn in our lesson 6. Lesson 7 is again a very important part because here you have to write your configuration logically. Okay, data validation, like for an example, if you want to set up your work something that a user cannot create any faulty records, right? So there are some rules. Okay, based out of condition. So if you put any wrong data, it will throw some error. So the user will be directed to only put the correct data. The next part is flows. Flows is a new um, automation tool that Salesforce has introduced last 3 4 years back. And um, earlier, what happens for complex logics, the coding part was more okay. But then Salesforce is doing that. They are providing some configuration solutions, which are alternate of Apex. Okay, the coding part. So, and it is widely used in most of the projects. Salesforce also recommends to use flows more and less on the coding part. So flow will be very important topic to you. Even in the interviews, lots of questions are getting asked in flows. Assignment rule and auto response rule are basically meant um, for an example that you raise a case and you are facing some issue in some product, right? So based on of your product attribute, okay. So let's take an example. So if you are using any mobile and this mobile is not working fine, so there can be multiple issues related to mobile. Either the touch screen is not working, there is a sound issues, or some software is not supporting. So based on that, there are multiple categories, and based out of each category, there are different teams aligned to it, right? So assignment rule is something that based out of certain attributes that who is the correct owner for these cases. The assignment rule does that part. So the case will ultimately getting assigned to the right person. Okay. So that is the on high level. Quickly moving to the lesson 8. I think some drum noise might be coming, so I'm just closing my window. Okay. So the next part is data management. So data management is again a very important part because every project have a work on data management. So basically, what we do in data management, we create records in Salesforce, not one or two records, records in bulk. Okay, it can be thousands, it can be lakhs. For that, we use certain tools called import wizard. We use a data loader. Okay, so those things we'll learn over here in our lesson 8. Lesson 9 will be our reporting and dashboard. So each application have its own dashboard and reports. Salesforce has its also its internal reports and dashboard. It is very useful for business users to take their decisions. And each project have a reports and dashboards requirement. So whether you are working in a support or development project, you'll always get requirement for reports and dashboard. Lesson number 10 is like our development. Development in the sense where more kind of your coding part will start from lesson 10. SQL query, SOQL. SOQL is like if you are familiar with SQL, SOQL is like more kind of in terms of Salesforce, how to fetch data from the database and extract the records. So SOQL is getting used. Okay. After that, we are on lesson 11. Lesson 11 is the actual part, like where we write codes and all. So basically, there are two things in coding part. One is your Apex, and the second is trigger. There is a slight difference between Apex and trigger, but both are the coding part. Okay. Um, Trigger is something that is more kind of a thing that is stick to some events based on some changes or some user is creating some record, updating some records. Triggers are something which are automatically getting invoked, and whatever logic we write, that will be like our apex. Okay, and sometimes we call multiple codes from triggers. So both basically the coding part all comes under the umbrella of Apex, but there is a slight difference between trigger and Apex classes, which we are going to learn later. In lesson 12, we'll understand more about Apex classes and test classes. Your lesson 13 will be your custom pages. Custom pages will be like, as I said, that there is some standard page in Salesforce which you don't need to write a code, right? But there are scenarios when we need to write some complex pages, okay, where some coding part is involved. Some very basic knowledge of JavaScript is also needed. So we'll have a separate session for JavaScript as well. But don't worry that it is a new technology or will it be difficult? I don't have any background. So don't worry. There is a very minimal coding is needed for JavaScript. So whatever is needed for these custom pages, we'll have those fundamentals done. So there should not be any problem learning with these custom pages. So our out of this, there are three types of custom pages: Visual Force page, Aura component, and LWC. So this is your Visual Force. It is now obsolete almost because of after 2014. We have there is no work is coming in Visual Force pages because the latest custom page technology is like with LWC. Oda component is also like now old because it started in 2014 until 2017. Oda component was getting used more, but from 2018, LWC we create pages in LWC. It is basically kind of a HTML page, but its syntax is slightly different. So we'll have those learning how to create LWC page, and it is the most simplest and most efficient page as well. So we'll focus more on LWC components. Okay. The lesson 14 will be deployment. Deployment is again a very important activity in Salesforce. So whenever you you do any configuration or you do any changes, right? Being a developer. Okay. So first you perform that in your lower org, right? Which is your developer org. Okay, and then you have to deploy to the higher environment, right, where the QA or testing team can test. So how we push our changes from one environment to another environment. So that is the place where deployment comes into the picture, and this cycle goes till production or your go live. So again, we have some tools for that. So those things we'll learn when we go to lesson 14. So till lesson 1 to lesson 14, our entire Salesforce course is captured. Lesson 15 is once our course is complete, and suppose you have aspiration to go for any Salesforce certification, so some help will be provided to you so that you can prepare well and get that credential on your name. Apart from that, we also help in your resume preparation, how to put your resume things in a efficient way, and then so that it can attract more attention in terms of recruiters. All those help will be given to you. We'll also help with a dummy project that will help you to explain like what kind of work you have done in your project or something you have to explain during interviews. So a dummy project will also be there for your in the hands-on experience. Again, we also have sessions for preparation of for interviews. So, what type of questions are getting asked in interviews, and real-time scenario-based question discussion will be part of this session. So these are the 15, you can say, lesson that is going to happen, and we are going to capture that during our course. Now I can, for a minute, I can stop, and then if anyone having any query, doubts, you can we can have that discussion now, and if no, then we'll directly go to Salesforce. Okay, so I'll stop for a minute. Yeah.